What's going on, YouTube? I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing and that you're having a fantastic day so far. Today's video, what I wanted to go over were 8 habits that are keeping you poor. So when it comes to myself and my background, I have been in the crypto space and also in the investing space for the past 5 years. And I know a thing or two about how to, I'm not exactly saying that I made it, but I know a thing or two about how to get yourself out of debt. And I also know a thing or two about poor habits that I've kept in the past that kept me poor slash kept me in the same spot repeatedly and kept me not progressing. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's go. Number one is going to be paying yourself last. So the average American or the average person usually pays their bills first and they tend to pay themselves last. What you want to do is the opposite. So say you get paid 2K every 2 weeks, right? What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take 10% of that and you're going to want to pay yourself with that. That way you can stash it away. You can put it into savings. You can invest it into Bitcoin, XYZ. That way you have extra money on the side. And that way you have more of a buffer as opposed to paying all of your bills first and then having nothing left after. Most people do a minimum of 10%, which is why I said you want to save at least $200 from the $2,000 that you would get paid. Rich people tend to do this a lot where they pay themselves first and then they will pay their bills afterwards. Number two is getting comfortable with bad debt. In America, we like to call it the revolving door. So what most people will do is they will pay their credit card bills, they'll pay the minimum payment every single month. And that does nothing but set you up for failure, because when you pay only the minimum payment, the banks win. And the interest rate on most credit cards is 22% or higher, right? So you want to make sure that you're not getting comfortable with bad debt, because the more you get comfortable with bad debt, the less of a chance you have towards becoming financially stable and also being able to secure your wealth. Rule number one, if I can't pay for it with cash, I shouldn't be paying for it at all. So make sure that you're also paying your debt on time and maybe working towards paying down your debt. If you want a video on that, I can definitely do that in the future, but let me know and we can go from there. Number three is not having a stockpile. What most people do is they never save back any money. Basically, being able to have a stockpile, just like the States is going to have with Bitcoin, is going to help you secure more of your wealth and also have something called a buffer, right? So start off by aiming to save $1,000 and having $1,000 set back up for emergency expenses, and then slowly adding on more to it until you have 6 months worth of income saved up. And then what I like to tell people from there is that after you do that, then you can start investing in things like the stock market, Bitcoin, altcoins, XYZ. That way you can really and truly build your wealth, because if you don't build wealth and you're always thinking about saving, you will never get to being financially free. And this also goes back to point number one, which was paying yourself first. So if you pay yourself first, you can start going into having an actual buffer that you can tap into if need be. And it also helps you release the mental load as well. Like say, God forbid, you were to get fired / laid off from your job, at least you would have a month's worth of income to basically save your ass, if that makes sense. Number four is not knowing your income or expenses properly. So there's a saying in investing: if you don't know where you are / your starting point, how do you know where you want to go, right? It's like getting into a car and you don't know where you're driving to. Eventually, you will run out of gas. So you're going to want to know, okay, where am I starting? That way I can know where I'm going in the future. And there's also this thing called lifestyle inflation. So as your pay raise goes up, your expenses tend to go up as well. People tend to want a bigger car, a bigger house, more fancier clothes, XYZ. Instead, what you want to focus on doing is, as your paycheck rises, you want to take more of that money out, put it into your stockpile, and also leaned it off and put it into your investment. Number 5 is having expensive hobbies. So these are things that take from your pocket as opposed to adding to it. So retail therapy, maybe you go out and you get yourself a coffee 4 times a week. These are expensive habits that will catch up to you. What you're going to want to do is focus on growing your money instead and keeping your money instead, as opposed to focusing on excessively spending it. Number 6 is going to be focusing purely on saving. I said this a little bit earlier in this video, but saving isn't really going to get you anywhere because the average interest on a savings account is 1 to 2%, right? If you were to do 1% of $1 million, that wouldn't be as much money. But let's just put it into smaller terms. 1% of $1,000 is $10 for the year. Now, instead, if you were to use that and invest your money in something like the S&P 500 or invest your money in Bitcoin, the growth curve would be exponential, right? Like you would be able to, one, outpace inflation, but you would also be able to grow your money at a better state as well. And your goal really and truly is to outpace inflation, because without shadow of a doubt, inflation is going to go up regardless. And then with making money, you can always make more money, but you can't always make more time. So what you're going to want to do is have your money work for you, right? You're going to want to invest it so that your money can work for you instead. And of course, everybody's going to have their excuses for why they can't get started now. But the longer you take to start, the harder it is going to be for you to bridge the gap between where you are now with your finances and where you want to be. And it's harder. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be harder for you to build up your wealth, right? So yes, you might have your excuse that, oh, I don't have time. I don't have the right resources. I don't know how to invest, but the internet's free. If you were to really sit there and look up top stocks that I should invest in, top cryptocurrencies that I should invest in, right? XYZ, it would help you a lot more. And also invest in maybe a course that's going to teach you more about how to invest in crypto. Always going to have the excuse, I don't have the time, I don't have enough money, I don't know how I should be investing, but you can't spend your time making excuses. You have to work on figuring it out. There's so many things out there that you could do. You could also ask ChatGPT for examples on how you can build an investment portfolio. Saving is capped, making money is infinitive. When it comes to making money, you can always start a side hustle. You can always invest more into the stock market, XYZ. You can always make more money, but you can't necessarily always save more money. Like you can't save yourself to wealth. Number 7 is going to be paying too much in taxes, okay? The thing that you should do is look into how you can legally, okay, the keyword's legally, pay less taxes. So for example, if you're in Canada, you can add more money to your RRSP, and by default, that will take your tax bracket down, so you won't have to pay as much in taxes. However, while you do that, yes, it's untaxable, but also keep in mind that if you are going to do that and invest into your retirement, then that money is going to be there for retirement, and it's not going to be something that you can touch / take out. Next would be to operate under a business or a sole business, such a solepreneurship type of business, or open up a solepreneurship type of account so that you can store your money there instead and have it taxed as a business as opposed to taxed as an individual, because there are different tax clauses with both of them. I believe if you tax it as a business, it's 33%. If you tax it as an individual, it's 50%. So it's kind of a big difference there. And then last but not least, and obviously I'm not an accountant, so definitely if you're looking into finding tax laws and things that are better for you when it comes to avoiding paying too much taxes, definitely consult a consultant, consult an accountant. But these are just my tips. Number 3 is going to be capital gains versus capital losses. So say, for example, you lost $1,000 with a cryptocurrency, right? But over here, you gained 3,000 with this cryptocurrency and you cashed out both of them. Well, now I have negative 1K that I can kind of forge over. So then it would only be 2,000 that I had to pay taxes on. Hopefully that makes sense. You would need to prove it. So that's why I said get an accountant. And yeah, then the math will be mathing for sure. So these are things that you should keep in mind if you want to avoid legally avoid paying as much taxes. Number 8 is going to be waiting too long to invest. This goes back to a tip that I made earlier, but the longer you wait to invest, the harder it gets for you to create financial wealth, right? Slash security, or become quote unquote rich or middle class, right? The longer it takes for you to reach there, because the age gap just goes exponentially. And now also you don't have as much time anymore. Now, instead of investing while you were 25, you're now 35. And it's like, it gets a little bit harder for you to do so. So yes, everybody's going to have their excuses. I don't have the time. I don't know what I should be investing in, XYZ. But as I said earlier, the internet is free. You might as well use it to your advantage. Ask ChatGPT, hey, what could I be investing in? What is a good investment for someone with my risk tolerance? I don't want to lose too much, XYZ. So if you're the type of person that has a risk tolerance where you don't want to necessarily lose, you're going to want to stick to the safer things, right? Like for example, you can go down the list of CoinGecko. Your goal would be to stick to the top 30 that are in the list. I'm not telling you that all of them will do great things for you, but really fiend out and look for resources on why it can be a good project. Like basically do your own research on why you think it's a good project, why you think it'll work, and XYZ. After you're able to build your stockpile, then you're going to want to start investing any extra money that you do have. And you're going to want to avoid leaving extra money in the bank because, as I said, it eats away at your savings, right? It eats away at your money. Like it eats away because of inflation and everything. When inflation goes up, your money goes down. And obviously the purchasing power of the US dollar has not been getting any better. So it's better to invest your money and make your money work for you. But with leaving it in your bank account, you're basically just losing money year after year. The longer you put off investing, the harder it is to maintain / get that same level of financial freedom as someone that would have started earlier. So that's going to be it for this video. If you liked this video, I'm sure that you will like this one. I go over crypto a lot in this particular video. So definitely feel free to view that. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.